Good day everyone. Today on the bench I'm going to tell you one of my favorite flies, or one of our top producers that ever came off my vise, and it's basically an old proven pattern. I just tricked it out a wee little bit and it's made such a difference. This fly has gained a lot of notoriety. It's called Dye's Buggy Prince. Basically evolved from the Prince Nymph, originated by Doug Prince. And you can see here I've basically added some red holographic butt. I've substituted, I made my body out of seal fur and a blend of ice dub, and added lots of weight to it. We've fished this in size 10 and 12, and it's probably put more fish in our boat than any fly that I've ever used. And I named it after my wife because she uses it pretty much exclusively and keeps me really busy on the net. So it does have its pluses and minuses, but I'll tell you, here's a fly that you want to tie, and here's the materials you'll want to have ready to tie it. For the hook, we're going to use, today we'll use a size 10 curved nymph hook, and we're going to put on front here, we'll use a black bead 1/8. You can use tungsten if you want. I'm also going to put a little bit of O2O lead wire in behind that bead just to hold it in place. And the butt section, of course, red holographic tinsel. That adds a lot to it, I believe. And for the tailing material, we're going to use some black goose biots. And for the wing, we'll use some white goose biots. And we're going to use some solar res for to coat the butt section. Your light, curing light, you can use whatever UV light you want. I just put this on this fly to make it a lot more durable. I found if I didn't UV the butt section, for example, eventually the fish would chew it up. So we'll get started on this tie here, but I can't express enough. We've had some very good success, a lot of good reports of people using this fly. I've given it to some of my friends over the years. We've done very well with it. Competitive anglers are even getting word of this fly and using it quite extensively as well. And it's not hard to tie. It's basically a Prince Nymph with some modifications, like I've mentioned. Just changing up materials. Sometimes these old patterns, you just need to think outside the box and you can create some of your own. Let's get one in the vise here. So start, I'm going to grab my size 10 curved nymph hook, get it in there. I've got my 1/8 bead on the front. I've pinched on the barb, get my bead on the small sides to the front. I'm going to grab some O2O lead wire. I'm going to take about 6-7 wraps in behind the bead. Gives it a little more weight. I'm not looking for that as much as I'm looking to hold that bead in place so it doesn't slide back. And to ensure that, I'm just going to take some red or black 6/0 thread. I'm going to tie the entire fly with that, and just get in behind, tie through your lead a little bit, and then fill in behind, and stops the lead from sliding back on you. I'm going to grab some red tinsel. Holographic materials out nowadays are just incredible. You could use a little bit of this stuff for ribbing or shellbacks or whatever you do. It's got lots of good uses. You can go way down the bottom of this, way down the back on this one for a butt section. This red holographic tinsel, I believe, adds a lot to the pattern itself. And I'm just going to put a quick whip finish on that so we don't lose it. Now what I would do is dress all my hooks, and then I'll put epoxy on that butt section right then and there, and I'll prepare if I'm going to do a dozen or however I'm going to do. Get that all ready, and you can put a little UV on that right away. I'm not going to do that, take your time. But so ahead of that, I'm going to put a little ball of thread there, and I'm just using my fingernail to guide it so it doesn't go back any further than that. You can see it creates a little bit of a hump. Then I'll bring in, I've got my black goose bites. We're just going to get a couple off the bottom there. And they are curved slightly. You can curve them outwards. And you're going to tie that in just ahead of that little hump that we built there. One on one side, one on the other side, curved out. Just hold it on the side with your thumbnail or whatever to hold it in place. You get a nice splayed tail with that. Then I'm going to throw a half hitch on here. You folks with a standard vise, you can use a dubbing loop. And this dubbing is black seal fur with a pinch of peacock ice dub. And that just a little glint in there. Don't overdo it with that because it'll overbear. And this black seal fur is what makes this effective and gives it the buggy nature. And you can see how it's coming off the thread there, how nice and buggy that is. And fish love eating seal fur. We dub the body nice and thick. I don't know what it imitates, but they eat it. I don't care. The fish just love it. Then we're going to come in over the top. We're going to come in here with two white goose bites. You can tie them, I like to tie them one at a time just to make sure put them a little bit of an angle right on top. The other one I'm going to set on top of that. See that they look pretty good for length. And then I'm going to, instead of cutting them off right there, I'm going to pull those butts back and tie it back over the butts. Sometimes goose bites will slip out, you'll notice. That'll stop that. Just lay your scissor right on top of the bead there, kind of control it. I'm going to just get a finish right there behind my thread. Give it a whip finish. And there it is. And what I'm going to do is also I'd put a little Solarez or head cement on there, whatever you have. And if you want, you can pick out a little more material off the bottom. I notice I clipped it off the top. I don't need it. I used to leave it kind of there, but I just kind of clip it off the top now and just basically have the bottom legs coming out. And that is a fly that has been very, very effective for us, like I mentioned earlier. We fish it a lot of times with a type 3 sink tip. And let it get down at an angle. This fly will produce tons of fish at depths of, well, they're probably hitting it anywhere from 6 to 12 feet, 14 feet, somewhere in there. And then it's coming up at a nice angle. It's got that weight to get it down pretty quick. A lot of fish will hit it on the drop. But this fly is one of my favorites and one of the best I think has ever come off my vise. So good luck with that, and I hope to see you in the water.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.